We are so grateful for all the help, the support that WIGB has given us. And I think we've exchanged a lot of business cards. I think there's been a lot of network that's built up. And I think on the first day we were talking about how we wanted to set up a relationship and learn from Australian Institute of Company Directors, all the research findings that they have. So because Australia is so much more advanced than us in terms of promoting diversity, there's actually quite a lot that we can learn from Australia, and especially from what WIGB's been doing in terms of data, the actual strategies, different role models, etc. So I'm sure you'll find a lot, or I'm sure you'll find many JWIN participants who will log on to the WIGB home site and become members, and you will have avid readers who will follow up on all the different uses, all the great insights. I feel that JWIN participants really have been enjoying this overseas study tour. There have been a lot of great insights, a lot of practical strategies that they can bring back and apply when they go back to the workplace. They have received a lot of words of encouragement. The key word that really struck in my mind is the word choice, that we do have the choice to make, that it's so easy to fall into the trap of saying, you know, because I'm a woman, I can't be given opportunities, etc., etc. But we do have opportunities, we do have chances to say, to grab the opportunities that are given to us. I'm not sure if it's applicable right now, straight away, but the idea of using a male mentor, whether it's internal as well as external, is something that could be very valuable to us. I mean, personally, I haven't had a mentor. I haven't had a male mentor either. But in various, in different places that we've visited during this study tour, so many leaders have said that they have been so blessed by the mentors, and whenever they felt they weren't ready to take on the challenges, those mentors really pushed their back and to encourage them. As well as today, we learned that it's really good to have a male mentor to overcome those, unspoken biases, unspoken consciousness that exist in the workplace.
From the discussion today, there were probably three key aspects that came out, three key messages that came out. First of all, to back yourself, that you have the capability, you have the strength, you have the confidence, so back yourself in taking those opportunities when they arise. Number two, to really ensure that you have a strong, frank mentor, and that mentor helps you to shape your career path and evaluate the opportunities as they come. And the third one is to be flexible and to actually focus on delivering the business. Focus on delivering, and that will get you noticed, and that will bring the opportunities. In Australia, we think that we have a ways to go, and I still believe that. And although I work with Westpac that has a very good reputation in the diversity stakes, I got the impression this morning that in the Japanese market and in that culture, there is certainly a significant way to go, and that women really have to have the strong networks and the strong aspirations and methods to actually achieve the diversity, probably a little bit more intensely than that's required in Australia. The women in global business is a really fundamental and wonderful thing to do. And why I think that is that we are in global businesses now. We operate in a global economy, and therefore anything that we can do to share our learnings, share our attributes with others, and also learn from others is going to make us stronger and better. So I'm a great supporter, and I think that the JWIN tour has been very valuable, and I've been very happy to be a part of it.
The
quality of the questions, the fact that they're all so eager to learn, eager to emulate, I think, some of the things that we're doing here in Australia. And I think that openness is something that I've really taken away. You are reminded that we all face the same challenges, particularly being working mothers or with ageing parents, that always there's a conflict of priorities, a conflict on your time, and how we juggle those and manage those while staying present in all parts of our lives, I think, is something we've got to continue to work on. The whole idea that I think JWIN is trying to give them opportunities to network, to learn, to be able to bounce ideas off each other. So that whole idea of sisterhood, I think, is something that they've really caught on to and they're going to take back to Japan. And I think that being more open with each other, sharing more, is incredibly important. The second thing, I think, is watching for unconscious bias and the barriers, and actually being aware of them, and not now, I think, be willing to accept that. What can I do to change that situation, to challenge it? Can I introduce a scorecard? Can I get other leaders involved? Can I go and have a coaching conversation? I think to continue to push forward and focus on their end goal is so important, rather than getting sort of caught in the swamp or the quagmire of problems or issues that they might currently be facing. I am incredibly impressed by the work that Women in International Business is doing. I think we are a great example to others. And we heard that today through JWIN, is that they're looking at what's going on in Australia and they're willing to learn. And I think we equally can learn from them. I think there's other organisations globally that we could connect with in this way and really build that whole global sisterhood or global community to aid women to achieve success either in their own corporations or in their own businesses, and open up sort of the world for them, and because it is such a great playground and playing field if we really get this right.
It's terrific that they have the confidence and the desire to change things in their home culture, and I'm optimistic that this might happen. I think there are some things that they have taken on board with respect to taking control of their own careers and taking control of the conversation in some instances with their managers. And I think they're genuinely just seeing that it is possible, even though it's still pretty hard everywhere, that it is possible is probably a good thing for them. It certainly crosses all borders, this idea of actually truly adding value to the organisation that for whom you work. That is very compelling. But at the same time, I think that it is very difficult that there are some cultural barriers that are more blatant in some ways in Japan than here. Many of the women talk to me about the old boys club and the drinking networks and those sorts of things which are part of Japanese business life. I'm starting to talk to male CEOs who no longer see diversity as a task or a box to be ticked, but understand that it's an important contributor to their business success. And as the market gets more complex and businesses get more complex, you have to win the war for talent. And I think that in Japan, with the ageing society, that you're going to have a very similar situation where it will dawn on the men in business that they actually need to tap the hidden talent in their community.